Here is the graphic picture of our trip.
Here we are again on May 30th, 2011, traveling on our Northwest Passage towards Colorado. During this time, we passed through North Florida as usual, visited family, hiked, and went with them to Cedar Key. We had the pleasure of visiting also our great-grandnieces, which we don't see too often. We passed through, obviously, Georgia, spent some good deal time there hiking, and even had a time to play around. Continuing north, we visited our family also in Tennessee, and again did some great hiking in the country there. Kentucky was our next state, where we had the privilege of hiking Daniel Boone's trail in the woods. Passing through Cincinnati into Ohio, we proceeded to Maumee State Park on Lake Erie. In Maumee, we also had the privilege of playing on a links golf course on Lake Erie and visiting with our nephew Randy Consolo before continuing north. Going west into Michigan, we followed the shore of Lake Michigan up and towards the Upper Peninsula. During that period of time, we encountered some big, great sand dunes, which I didn't know existed in Michigan. Marianne almost chartered a boat there and was the main steerer of the boat. The hiking was fantastic in that area and very difficult, and hiking above the sand dunes on Lake Michigan was very pretty. We encountered an interesting thing in that a deer was being stalked by a wolf during that period of time. Then we passed through the Mackinac Bridge up into northern Michigan, which we loved very much. It was a pleasure visiting the Shipwreck Museum, where the Coast Guard station exists, where the Edmund Fitzgerald went down. Next was the wonderful waterfalls that were full of water due to the large rains and the runoffs that are encountered in northern Michigan. Marianne wanted to adopt a pet moose, but unfortunately Shadow disagreed. We proceeded to the northern part of North Michigan to along Lake Superior at the various parks there, and doing some fantastic hiking during that period of time that we visited the North Shore on Lake Superior. I want everybody to look at this picture and tell me what it was used for. But continuing to the lighthouses, it was a very fantastic visit. The shore were beautiful, but cold. Porcupine Mountain Wilderness was our next stop. There was some great hiking, and again we encountered some animals that live there. Look at this possum. Isn't he beautiful? And this beaver, who is working hard on the pond. This map shows you how large this park was along Lake Michigan, and the amount of enjoyment we had was just 3 or 4 days of marked hiking. We now entered Wisconsin, but unfortunately we're greeted with the death of a bear who'd recently been struck by an automobile. Going on further, we'd entered now Minnesota, which was fantastic. I had no idea how beautiful it was, especially what they call the North Shore, which was on Lake Michigan. I'm going to stop talking presently to have you view the beautiful waterfalls that were occurring along the coast called the North Shore of Lake Superior. It was fantastic. The hiking was also fantastic on the top, and Shadow enjoyed the high rocks. We viewed the large waterfalls, as you can see from the melting snow, which was large. Unfortunately, we also encountered the death of multiple trees, beech trees, due to a mole. The last part we enjoyed in Minnesota was Bear Lake and fished there, but unfortunately it was closed spontaneously due to economic problems, but we did get some fishing in, which we caught the great white shark. Our next visit was to North Dakota, where we viewed the beautiful granola fields that were going, but unfortunately we also viewed the massive floods that occurred in North Dakota, which you are viewing right now. We had to drive through high water to get to a park that was on a island, but we could not get off the island except for this one causeway due to fantastic flooding. We tried to do some fishing, but unfortunately due to the high water it was impossible. But we did see nice animals which were sort of trapped in certain areas. Our next stop was one of our favorite parks in all the United States, Theodore Roosevelt. First, the northern view, which you can see with some great hiking and stops along the way. This is the Little Missouri, which is usually a small stream, as you can see is much larger. Southern part of the Theodore Roosevelt is a fantastic area to visit because it has great hiking to the Petrified Forest. Hiking the Petrified Forest, we were fortunate in encountering large herds of buffaloes, which we encountered, as you can see, and unfortunately scared them away, especially when there was a large animal in the area. The trail was supposed to be 3.5 miles, but we got diverted and it ended up with approximately a 4-hour hike at 7.5 to 8 miles, but it was worth it. Back at our campsite, we were entertained by some wild horses that meandered into the campsite to do some feeding.